Hey guys, in this video I'm going to be comparing the two high-end lenses from Olympus and Panasonic. The Nocticron from Panasonic and the M.Zuiko Pro Lens 45mm from Olympus. They're both wide open at f1.2 and they have a lot of similarities as well as key differences to separate them apart. So yeah, as I mentioned, they both are wide open at f1.2 all the way down to the f-stop of f16, and they are pretty much premium built designs for all metal for the body. However, they do have different functionalities when it comes to the barrels. So for example, the one that we have for the 45mm, it has a mechanical clutch for the focusing ring, so you can go directly from autofocus down to the manual focus with the manual clutch. And it also comes with better precision because you also have the distance scale, so you'll be able to precisely focus on the subject where you want it to be in. And it also comes with a function button, so it is more intuitive whenever you're hand holding it. So in my opinion, it is a little bit more ergonomic than it is with the Nocticron. The Nocticron has a manual aperture ring, and on each f-stop they're going to be clicked. And it also comes with two buttons on the side, so autofocus, manual focus, and the other one is the power OIS. It is the fastest lens right now built in with the optical image stabilization so far that we know of. And they both have pretty much 9 diaphragm blades that gives you pleasing smooth bokeh for the focus area. However, the 45mm actually has feathered bokeh, so it has a gradation towards the defocused area, which makes the out of focus area a little bit more smoother, more creamy, because it is just more blended in compared to the busier conventional bokeh that the Nocticron has. They are all metal built. However, the only thing that the Nocticron doesn't have is all weather sealed compared to the 45mm, which is completely weather sealed. So it is splash proof, dust proof, and freeze proof down to minus 10 degrees Celsius. It also has a filter thread of 62mm, which is very pleasing because it actually matches with the other Pro lenses from Olympus, the 25mm f1.2, which I'm using right now, as well as the 17mm f1.2. The other two lenses are 62mm as well. So for example, if you're using ND filters, you'll be able to swap them from one lens to the next really easily. Compared to the Nocticron, it has 67mm filter thread, which differs from the other filter threads that I have with Panasonic lenses. One of them, for example, is 46mm. The two zoom lenses that I have are 58mm, and my super telephoto lens is at 72mm. They also have two different type of hoods. So the one that we have for the Panasonic Nocticron comes with a metallic hood, which has a velvety texture inside that possibly helps to negate light from bouncing onto the front elements. And it is a little bit more heftier compared to the plastic hood from the Olympus. However, it is more functional because it is lighter, the one that the 45mm has, and it also comes with a button, so you do hear a click, so that you know that it is securely placed inside. And it is also pretty sturdy as well. They're both reversible, and the one that we have for the 45mm is a little bit shorter, but they both pretty much function the way they have to be in order to help the lenses take out any lens flares from hitting from the side. However, if you do reverse the one from the Nocticron, it helps to protect more of the barrel on the sides because it is a little bit longer. The differences are also that because of the metallic hood, the Nocticron is a little bit heavier than the 45mm. Without the hoods, the 45mm only weighs 410 grams, which is a difference of 15 grams compared to the Nocticron, which weighs at 425 grams without the hood. So I can feel it between the two right now that the Nocticron is really much more heavier. And as I mentioned earlier, they both have 9 diaphragm blades. So even though they have 9 diaphragm blades, they have a great pleasing looking bokeh. The image qualities are exceptionally pleasing and also sharp. The difference between the bokeh is that the 45mm is a little bit more compressed because it is 2.5 millimeters more further than it is with the Nocticron, which is at 42.5mm. So the angle of view would be 27 degrees for the 45mm compared to the Nocticron, which is at 29 degrees. And you'll be able to see what the difference is very subtly on the Lysol image that I'm going to be showing right now. So you'll notice also that the 45mm has a more blended background for the shelf on the back of the Lysol. Also, for the dimensions of the physical body, the Nocticron is a little bit more girthier. It is about 74 millimeters for its girth compared to the more slender high-end lens, the 45mm, which is at 70 millimeters. However, the 45mm is a little bit longer compared to the Nocticron. It is about 84.9 millimeters for the length, compared to the Nocticron, which is at 76.8 millimeters. So it's a little bit shorter and girthier compared to slender and longer for the Pro Lens from Olympus. And personally, I prefer the look of the Olympus, but that's just my personal opinion. It differs from person to person. Alright, so in this footage, they're both onto the cameras right now. So the one that you see for the one on your left is the one with the Nocticron, and the one on your left, on your right side, is going to be the 45mm. So as you can tell from the background, you'll be able to notice what the feathered bokeh looks like compared to the conventional bokeh. And also, they are about maybe 2 inches apart from each other from the distance of the lenses towards the sensor because of the focal length. I want them to be as closely matching as possible. And you'll be able to notice what the differences are between 45mm and 42.5mm. Alright, they are both at 4K 24 frames per second, 10 bits. And they both are customized at 5500 Kelvin, and they're both at autofocus continuous. So we'll be able to know exactly how the autofocus works for both of the lenses in both of the cameras that I have. So the one that the Nocticron is on right now is a G9, while the 45mm right now is on the GH5. And as you can tell from your right side, I'm pretty sure that the tint is a little bit more green for the GH5 compared to the one in the G9. As I've noticed from my earlier video comparing those two lenses, the Lumix 35-100 versus the 45mm for the Olympus. So this time I'm comparing the Nocticron and the Olympus lenses to see how they are working against each other for this type of situation. So as you can tell, it is more of a contrasty type of look to the footage. And also I do have a lighting 45 degrees on my left side, and I do have a reflector on my right side to see how well the contrast detection works on both of these lenses when it comes to video shooting. Okay, so this time I changed the lenses on both the bodies. The lenses are still at the same place. So the one that you see on your right side is going to be the 45mm f1.2, and on your left side is going to be the Nocticron. However, the bodies change. So on your left side is going to be the GH5, and then on your right side is going to be the G9. We'll see how well the autofocus works if I'm just standing still here, and if there's going to be any autofocus wobbling on the background, just to see if there's a lot of hunting between these two, and also how well they can retain the subject whenever you're going to be on autofocus continuous while you're just staying in one spot for most of the time. When it comes to a setting like this, usually the best thing to do would be just to keep it on manual and then just put yourself into focus and just stand still for the rest of the time when you're just talking. Otherwise, if you do have a little bit more movements like this thing, like putting on more of a head movement left and right, then I would prefer using it with the autofocus flexible, which keeps the autofocus maintained in one specific spot, but it can also be flexible to change a tiny little bit in order to keep the focus on your eyes. So we're going to see exactly how the autofocus systems works on both of these lenses, and we'll be able to test out also some other things like the autofocus breathing when it comes to changing the distances of the subject in focus. Alright, so in this test I'm going to be testing out the focusing breathing between the 45mm and the Nocticron lens. So at the moment I have the Nocticron lens right now, and I have it on position 2 now, which is focusing on the Manfrotto tripod, and position 3 goes all the way back at the back towards the oven. Position 1 goes all the way back to the foreground with the lens, and you'll notice how much focus breathing there are, or the lack thereof, when we're going to be comparing it to the 45mm right now. Okay, now we have on the 45mm Pro Lens from Olympus, and it's in the position 1, and we're transitioning towards position 2, all the way towards the Manfrotto tripod, and all the way towards the back, towards the oven, and all the way back to position 1 where the lens is at the foreground. And we'll see how much focus breathing there are compared to the Nocticron lens which we used earlier. Okay, so thank you guys so much for watching my comparison video between the high-end lenses from Panasonic and Olympus. If you want to see more content from the Micro Four Thirds world, please subscribe to my channel, and I would be really grateful if you can also like this video. Thank you.